Hi guys, this is just a video for anyone who might be feeling like they're stuck in a rut, suffering with kind of depressive thoughts, anxiety. Bear in mind, I'm not a mental health professional, I'm not a medical professional, but I can only give you what I've experienced both in my own life, but also in being a personal trainer and people I've come across who have been in similar situations. 4 years ago today, I had a pretty life-changing injury, nerve damage in my left leg, foot drop, and then that all got fixed. But I then sustained third-degree burns on my leg whilst recovering from operations. I then went through another 6 months of getting skin grafts put on my leg. I now have massive chunks out of my leg missing, so I got some pretty gnarly scars. And I put on a load of weight. Post that, didn't look after myself properly. First lockdown came, I got furloughed from my job, a job that I'd got lazy in, a job that I'd really started to take the mick with, I think, a little bit. Mainly because I wasn't enjoying it, but also because I had got used to this cycle of life of I was depressed, I was anxious all the time, but people were letting me get away with being a shit human being because they knew I was depressed, because they knew I was anxious. And it took some tough love from my dad after finding out I had an online gambling addiction while I was recovering from my injury, which then led to some pretty bad stuff and some pretty big fallouts with like the people that are closest to me. It took some tough love from my dad saying, you need to want to get better and you need to prove to us that you want to get better. Bearing in mind, my parents had paid for me to be treated for my mental health stuff for a long time. So they'd put a lot of stake in trying to get me better, but it was clear that it wasn't working. And the reason it wasn't working is because I wasn't investing in it as much as they were, or as much as the people who were trying to help me were. Wanting to get better is the main thing. If you want to get better, you will get the help, you will get through it. I believe that health and fitness is something that is massively underrated as a tool for that. One of the first things I got asked when I went to a psychiatrist appointment was, how much exercise are you doing? And it wasn't enough. And so when lockdown came and I got furloughed from my job, I focused on getting fit, just going for walks to start off with, taking the dog for a walk, extending those walks from half an hour to 40 minutes to 50 minutes to an hour, and then getting all the way up to an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then going for small runs or doing a bodyweight circuit at home just for 20 minutes. Stuff that was really kind of short term, didn't take up too much time, so didn't feel like massive of effort, but also then controlling my food and just not controlling what I ate, but controlling how much I ate. And then I started to realize I didn't feel as full after meals. I didn't feel as ill. I wasn't eating until I was stuffed. I was eating until I was full. And then getting fitter and the weight starts to drop off. And suddenly it's a weird thing of like, as the weight drops off, mentally you start to feel a bit different. Start to feel a bit more confident about yourself. You can move easier. My knee started to feel so much better. I was told I wouldn't be able to run. Suddenly I was running 5Ks. Suddenly I could, and that took time, and it always takes time. It's a process. I lost 4 stone, but I lost that 4 stone in a year. It does take time, but it is manageable and you can do it. You just have to want to do it. So a big thing for me is, don't underestimate how much your health, your physical health, affects your mental well-being. If you're used to sitting still all day, not getting out, not moving enough, walking up the stairs makes you lose your breath, your knees hurt when you do any kind of high impact stuff or you go for long walks. health and fitness is super important, and it will have a massive impact on your day-to-day life. And it can make the difference between you staying in the rut that you're in at the moment, where you're feeling down, you have feelings of self-doubt, self-loathing, feeling like you're worthless, all of that kind of stuff. Every day gets easier if you manage to get yourself to a decent level of fitness. Just it doesn't have to be hammering yourself every day. Just a little bit, 20 minutes every day, something like that, where you can just focus on yourself, focus on your body, focus on making sure that you're getting healthy. And then other things will follow. You'll want to do better. You'll want to keep your diet under control because you've gone to this effort of doing all this exercise, and it just has a massive impact. Every year on this day, I have a massive reflection about how my life has gone since my injury, and I am a very different person to the person I was 4 years ago. 4 years ago, I was mentally weak, like seriously mentally weak. And anything that got chucked at me, I could find an excuse for. And now, mentally, I feel in a very different place. I feel like I'm a lot stronger. I still work every day at trying to make sure that I'm getting better and keeping my good habits, and it's easy for old habits to come in. So I'm aware of that. But I just thought it was really important to put a notice out there to say being healthy physically is so underrated. It not only helps you, but it helps the people around you. People don't worry about you as much if you're more physically healthy. And the changes that come mentally with being more physically fit and more physically able to do stuff means that a lot of the time it's easier to be around you. So yeah, it's just a massive part of reflection for me. Like I said, I'm not a medical professional or anything, but I'm giving you my experience. So it's never too late to get into it. It's never something that you should neglect. Your physical health and being fit enough to just get through day-to-day life a lot easier is something that's really, really important. And if you need help, please ask. I'm always willing to chat to people. I'm always willing to give tips and little ideas of ways you can start. So please, if you are in need of a bit of a kick, in need of just a starting point, please send me a message and I will respond.